The first race you signed up for was a 100-miler.
Well, why not go big, right? Why not go all out? I was knocked out and I woke up in a wheelchair. My body shut down.
Yep.
Like, I pissed myself.
Yep.
And it kind of made me realize, like, wow, like, I took it for granted,
Yep.
like a well-able body and a sound mind. I just finished the Berlin Marathon a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm not satisfied. Literally, I got back in the room and signed up for a race within the next 2 hours. I want to be that dude running in the master class at 80 years old. Movement is medicine. Stay up, stay active, stay moving.
Do you think you have to be able to actively be competing and doing the thing to call yourself an athlete?
That's a great question.
Today's guest is Toan, a D3 football player turned ultra-endurance athlete. From high school basketball and track to boxing and now 100-mile races. Toan shares how he redefines being an athlete after college and why he believes movement is medicine. Welcome to No Former Athlete podcast.
Happy to be here.
Are you an athlete?
Yes, I would consider myself an athlete right now in my life. I am in my ultra marathon and marathon era.
Okay.
But played sports my whole life up until college. So yes, I am indeed an athlete right now.
Was there ever a period of time where you didn't consider yourself an athlete and almost got back into it, or have you always felt solid about it?
I always felt solid about it. I feel like my perspective on it now is that we're all athletes in the game of life. We're always striving for something. If it's not a specific goal to a certain sport or anything related to anything physical, it's like we're playing the game of life. We're trying to live as long as possible and be as mobile as possible. Yeah. So yes, we're all athletes in the game of life.
No one made the rules. No one's allowed to make the rules on what you can and can't identify as in terms of the athlete side.
Right, exactly.
But I do feel it's like so many people end up having kind of that identity crisis post-competitive, right?
Right.
Or post, again, you can become competitive again.
Yeah.
And that, but there's always kind of that moment.
Right.
Give us a little bit of your athletic history, kind of what sports did you play growing up?
So in high school, I played basketball, ran track, and football was my main gig. Played football at the collegiate level my freshman year. Transferred to a school. I played D3 out at Marietta, Ohio. Very small D3 school. Great experience though. Great team and made some great relationships there. But transferred over to Towson University.
Okay.
Was going to try and walk on there, but things didn't pan out the way they was supposed to pan out. But I picked up boxing and got into flag football and just really continued there. My running era now started. So I was definitely one of those COVID-born runners.
Yeah.
That's what I
you
got
had
from COVID.
accessibility to.
Yes.
We're allowed to be outside.
Yeah. So I guess like coming from that football background, transitioning over to endurance running now, which is crazy to say because like a mile used to be long as a mile still long. So,
Totally.
But yes, it's just crazy to like reflect back and see that transition.
Yeah.
Like,
talk about some of those transition moments because like you just said, had multiple switches and changes to where it's like when you're 18, 19, 20 in those college years,
right.
You're a student athlete. There's a lot that all of us experience kind of growing up, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to play in college.
Yeah.
You played a season. Talk a little bit about like where was that decision making when you decided to kind of transfer after a year? Mm-hmm. How did you feel about it?
Right.
Where was the decision?
Being an Asian American itself, playing football and basketball is its own chapter. And I'm sure all of my Asian Americans out there can relate to it. It's a whole different journey. I mean, I guess you can call it a chip on your shoulder, right? Because you always got to prove something. You always want to bring your A game, right? I think my decision as a high school athlete, I actually moved to California for a year, played a year out there my sophomore year, but then ended up coming back to Maryland where I was originally from, finishing my high school career there. Truthfully, my high school senior season, didn't pan out the way that I expected it to pan out. Coaching stuff or whatever it was at that time, didn't pan out. No offers. Honestly, only played half a season. So I took the route of the recruitment myself. You know, like putting my name out there, but you know, no D1 offers, no D2. I'm not saying that I'm like some super D1 athlete for sure, right? But with that being said too, like I love the game and I love the grind. That decision of me wanting to like, I mean, the education piece at that time, education was just like, you weren't worried about the major. I'm just trying to play this sport. Right? I'll figure it out when I get there. You know, I did.
It was your mode to have a team to play.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get you.
So it was like the whole recruitment process, seeing like, all right, like what letters am I getting? Sending out to see what schools I'm getting accepted to, you know? D3 was a good route. And I guess when I got there, it was always just like, with that chip on the shoulder, trying to prove something, trying to like bring the A game, but also it was always like the you versus you mentality, right? I never really Well, it's when you're playing basketball, you're playing football, you're facing that man in front of you, right? But I think I learned at a very young age where it's like, it is a mental battle, like you versus you, you know? And I think that right there, that mentality, like transition that over to running. I think that's like the perfect like mindset when it comes to running, like you versus you, because you're not really running anyone else's race when you're running a marathon. Because if you are, you're going to find out that that ain't the way to go. You know what I'm saying? But I think I found that out. That was probably my biggest thing transitioning over to an endurance athlete now.
Yeah.
As long as you can show up for yourself every day, 1% better every day. Like, it's just crazy because I remember now how I felt after my senior season of football and like knowing that I've committed myself to play at that collegiate level at D3. But like that summer grind was just different. Like whether it was by myself or like with the other athletes, my teammates too, that right there set the precedent of like how I want to live my life and just train for like anything I do, right? Because as athletes, we know like a lot of the things that we learn through sports, discipline, teamwork, all that, it transitions to everyday life.
Everything.
And like, I think running is the greatest metaphor to life because what you put in is what you get out. But truthfully, that goes with any sports you do, right? Like anything you put in, you will get out. But if you don't get out what you expect, you get a lesson.
Because you didn't put in what you should have.
Or you definitely get a lesson for sure, you know? So that you versus you mentality is probably what I got the most from my athletic history from high school till now.
Yeah, amazing. Transitioned, talk a little bit about the boxing side.
Yeah.
Were you competing in that as well, or was it more training, just kind of keeping yourself physically fit?
I'm actually undefeated. I'm 1-0. I am 1-0 in the amateur. So it was a college club team.
Very
at
cool.
Towson University. So so like I mean I've done martial arts growing up, but boxing's always been like I'm not the kicking stuff. Like if your legs can go above my shoulders, I don't want no smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need to focus on these two right here.
Yeah.
The boxing was just to pick up something new, like just to get out your comfort zone, do something new. Football grind's different, running grind's different, but that boxing grind is crazy. Like, you can go out run suicides, you can go out run sprints, but you go in a round and spar three-minute rounds with someone in front of you trying to hit you back, that's different. So I think boxing for me at that time was to get out my comfort zone, try something new, but it was something that I just wanted to do. Shout outs to Coach Herb, one of the greatest coaches that I've had. I did it for a whole year, and then I went into like a flag football era again. I came back to boxing my senior year of college, and I had a match lined up, but the dude like pulled out last minute. So like,
got it.
It was called the Rumble at Ritchie. It was hosted at UMD.
Okay.
But basically like by your weight class and like your experience level, you get matched with someone. I'm 1-0, but like, it's crazy because like that grind though. Like I remember we practiced 2-3 times a week. And it was like the most like boxing gym vibe. Like it wasn't at the college. It was at a legit boxing gym here in Baltimore, in like a little garage shed kind of vibe, But it was cool because like you go up and like we were sparring with legit boxers, Like I'm not gonna lie, like there was one dude that was boxing pro and he woke my ass up. Like I was a beginner, but like, like coming just from a competitive edge, I was giving my all.
Of course.
I guess I must have ringed him one good time. Man. The next 20 seconds, gut punch down to the ground. But I mean, like the one thing with boxing is like, it's definitely you versus you. But I think with boxing out of everything, it's definitely you versus somebody else, But like it's for the love of the sport, the art of the sport within itself. Like people compare like if you box versus like a street fight, like boxing's a sport. It's an art to it. It's an art to it. But yeah, boxing was something that I just want to try something, and it was great. It was a great chapter of my life.
And it was you knew you weren't going to be playing, on the organized football team anymore. It was your transition piece, right? Where it was like, okay, I can be super competitive in this. Okay, it's something new. It's something I can challenge myself in. In a sense, that sets you up also to just taking your athleticism, taking your athletic journey into your own control.
Yeah.
Because I will say too, for me, so like love the D3 life, played D3 basketball.
Yeah.
And so too, it's like I always played team sports.
Yeah.
And so also the transition out of team sport
to
into
a solo,
what kind of workout do you want to do? You need to set your own schedule with your workout. You need to, X, Y, Z. It's like, now, yes, you can join adult leagues. You can join teams still, but it's on
you. It's that discipline. Like that discipline
Absolutely.
and consistency is like key. Like
totally.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you would have the same discipline and consistency now if you didn't play and kind of transition out of your team sport and transition into almost that club, find your next thing phase?
That is a great question. And you know what? I will have to say, I can't say that I wouldn't, but I'm going to say I do because of those team sports. Playing like AAU basketball and like little league football and all that stuff. Like, showing up for that every day, every week, practicing. And it's just like one of those things where it's like, once you find the love for it, it's like, it becomes routine, right? And I think like routine is everything. It's like, it feels weird when I don't work out, you know, but like now, like recovery days counts, but like at one point, like if I didn't go to the gym and lift, like it felt weird, you know, like if I didn't go to the field and do my sprints and hit the stairs, it didn't feel right, you know? But no, I think the team sports definitely set me up for, you know, like I am a product of my past and my experiences. So I'm going to say team sports definitely set me up for the discipline and consistency I have today, for sure.
And a little bit of the, you're not going to feel like going to practice every day.
Yeah.
But guess what? Your team needs you to be at practice.
Yeah.
And you got to be there. So it's like, it does kind of teach you a little bit of that. Like, sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do.
Yeah. Because for the team, you show up for your teammates, you know, but like now it's like, it's the self-accountability, you know? So 1000% I agree.
I love that. So you've had, you know, team sports experience, the solo sport experience, and now here we are, COVID runner turned multi-ultra marathoner, correct?
Yes. I've done a few ultras, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you doing now? Where's the mindset? Where's kind of your athletic journey now?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, my running journey stemmed from COVID. You know, it was just a simple decision of like, you know what, like we were stuck inside and like you can only do so much, right? So it was literally like, what can I do to get out of my comfort zone and push myself physically and mentally? And like running was it for me, right? Like when I was running track, the most I ran was a 400, you know, and like that's done within a minute or less, right?
Yeah.
So it was just really just finding that next goal. You know, like we were cooped up inside. I remember I finished like 5 video games. I'm just like, I shouldn't be finishing video games like this, you know?
What was your like go-to workout, your go-to physical activity kind of right pre-COVID?
Definitely a lot of like lifting, flag football, like competitive flag football, like travel for tournaments, co-ed and male league. So
you were in it. You were in seasons.
I was in it. And I was playing like pickup ball too, like basketball. But once the running got serious, I was getting little BS injuries from flag football, so that had to take a back burner for sure, because the running stemmed from just wanting to get out my comfort zone and trying something new, like pushing myself physically and mentally. But a lot of things happened, especially with flag football at that time, that kind of molded how I viewed running. It's funny because me and my friend, when we both started running, we signed up for a 100 miler. So I ran an ultra marathon before I actually ran a marathon. But we signed it in, just full sent it, right? At that time too, when my running journey began, it was actually at a flag football tournament in Richmond, Virginia. I suffered a concussion. It wasn't like one of those baby concussions. Like I was like knocked out.
You felt it right away.
I was knocked out and I woke up in a wheelchair. And like apparently my body shut down. I remember when my teammates was like bro, like we thought you were done. When I woke up, I didn't remember anything. It was hazy. TMI, like my body shut down. Like I woke up and I pissed myself. Like because like when you got hit
literally
with
your brain resets itself.
So
you just lose function of all the things for a hot
which
moment.
is crazy, right? Because like when I was in the hospital, I was in the hospital because my friends took me to the hospital.
Oh, absolutely.
To leave the hospital with the doctor saying like, we don't see anything, like you're fine, like that don't get me wrong, that hospital bill sucked. But the peace of mind was great, you know? But the biggest thing from that is like after that, the doctor was like, no screen time, no physical activity, no nothing for like 2 weeks. So like for me at that time, I was turning 27. So like my goal on my 27th birthday, which I did, was run 27 miles and bike 27 miles.
Okay.
But like this happened 2-3 weeks before that. So I was on bed rest for like a week and a half. And like, I just remember laying there one time. I was just like, yo, like this sucks. Like, I can't do anything. And it kind of made me realize like, wow, like I took it for granted, like a well-able body and a sound mind. It took that for me to be like, damn, like I can't do it. This is only a week and a half. Like I couldn't imagine like people out there that can't do it at all, you know? So it's like, for me, like that kind of put perspective for me, was like, it made me appreciate the little things that we probably take for granted day to day. And then during at that time too, my aunt was diagnosed with cancer as well, which she is still with us today.
Wonderful.
She beat the cancer.
Wonderful.
But like during that time, it was like, what all this is happening is like, it's a privilege to be able to like move the body, even if it's just like walking. For me, it's like, I'm choosing to run these marathons, these ultra marathons. It's more so of just like a check-in for me and just like a reset of just like, do this for you. And you're proving nothing to anyone else besides you, but also like you're doing it for the individuals that can't do it, you know? So it's definitely a blessing. And I think that's how I live my life too. Like every day is a blessing. And just to be able to have a well-able body and sound mind, I can't complain. I wake up in the morning, I'm happy. Like it's a great day.
You also definitely have a little bit of that. Okay, what's my next competition?
It's funny you brought that up because with me, it's funny I said, but like I always have a race lined up. I just finished the Berlin Marathon a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Literally, I got back in the room and signed up for a race within the next 2 hours. In my mind, I definitely operate in a place of gratitude.
Yeah.
Just with those experiences.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
to be able to run 26 miles, to be able to run 100 miles, it's a blessing. But like that competitive edge from football, basketball, track brings on where it's like, it's always the next thing. This is the great segue because like I just ran the Berlin Marathon.
Yeah.
It was a fun race, amazing race, highly recommended to everybody, but I didn't hit the goal time. I unfortunately had stomach issues and had to stop and use the bathroom twice. I ran a good time for what happened with the scenario.
Yep.
But like there was something in me that was like, I'm not satisfied. Like this performance was not, this wasn't it.
Yep.
So I literally, once you finish a marathon, you get the medal, everything's good. I got back, I had other friends that were running it too, and they were a few hours behind.
Yeah.
So it was just like, for me, I got back in the room and I was just like, yo, like this just doesn't feel right. Like I'm not happy with this, and it's like, so I was juggling that for a little bit. It was like, yo, like I'm thankful that my body got me through, but it's like, nah, like it's go time. So I literally registered for the Houston Marathon, which is in January.
Okay.
So I'll be training through this winter, but like I think that race needed to happen because I haven't had that feeling in a while. And I'm not gonna lie, like there's a fire lit in me where I'm just like, I need to do this for me. Like
it felt like a loss.
Yeah, it felt like a loss.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful to make it through another 26.2.
Totally.
This is a redemption tour for me, just for the marathon distance for sure. So
in the adult athlete brain space, especially when it comes to marathons, right?
Yeah.
That's like the quintessential no former athlete to half marathon or marathon pipeline. Like at some point, at some point.
If you're 28 to 35, like if you don't have a child by now, you're running marathons.
Exactly.
Or both, right?
Or both. And then maybe once you have the kid, then you're like, oh, now I need to do one more to show that I can do it with the kid. Yeah. I know those friends.
But I have those friends. Oh, man.
But people then also go into that with very different mindsets to where like you had other friends, right? They were probably stoked on finishing, you know what I mean? The marathon, right? It's like a marathon, sometimes a half marathon, but especially a marathon distance. Like not everyone can even get to where they can do that ever. A lot of people can train for it. You can do it. It's possible. Sometimes just the completion of it is the only, W in the win column that people need.
That is a win regardless. Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Running is your sport now in a sense, right? And so it's like, you can hit X time.
Yeah.
So you're going into that same day with a completely different mindset.
Right.
And two, when you really think about marathons at the level that you're running them, you're trying to hit certain times. There are a lot of times are Olympians at these different big marathons. There are people that are competing in their sport at the same time as there's, XYZ in the back that are just trying to finish.
It's funny you said that. My friend Matt, he said this, and it is so true. He says that running is the only sport where you can toe the line and you're running with pro runners. Like, I remember he says like, bro, I'm never going to shoot a basketball with LeBron James or play one-on-one with LeBron James or catch a pass from Tom Brady, but you can line up and run the same marathon as Kipchoge, So like,
it's wild.
So that's facts. And it's just like, I also say this too, like the joy of the marathon is like everyone's journey is different. Everyone's goals are different. So you always run your own race, right? But like no matter what, everyone has the same start line and the same finish line. But everything in between, that's a different story, right? But like once you cross that finish line, you'll share the stories and see how it differs, right? I think that is the beauty of running, where you can toe the line and you're running with elite runners. And like with running too, like it gets better with time, right? Like just like with wine, right? So it's just interesting now, like seeing the growth and popularity of running too. But it's just beautiful because at the end of the day, it's just people getting out, taking care of their health, So you love to see it.
Yeah. I love this journey that you're on. All right. Give us a couple numbers in terms of how many ultra marathons have you done to date? How many marathons have you done?
I have completed 6 marathons. I have done 150K.
Okay.
I've done 3 100 milers and 1 4-day race, which I logged 170 miles in 4 days. And I've done some team relays that were a pretty crazy distance.
Yeah. Any triathlons in your bag?
It's funny. Shout outs to Steven. He actually just finished Ironman at Lake Placid. And I'm not gonna lie, being there, seeing it, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like 3 sports in one. To answer your question, that is a goal of mine down the line.
I knew it.
It's crazy because I can't swim for shit. Like
I know.
I can swim for fun. Like,
Yes.
you throw me in the water, I can tread water.
Yes.
But like, you're telling me people are swimming 2 miles, open water with other swimmers around them. Like, I might not even make it to the bike. You know what I'm saying? Like, but no, that is definitely a goal of mine. I think like right now I'm definitely in the marathon, ultra marathon chapter,
and improving upon
Yeah.
that, right? You're in a space where you're being competitive within that.
But triathlons, specifically the Ironman, is on my bucket list down the line for sure. I just know I will need to take swim lessons for sure.
I will say, I have not done an Ironman or a triathlon, but have had multiple friends that have.
Yeah.
And part of actually where No Former Athlete comes from is, so my wife did 2 full Ironmans last year.
Sheesh.
And I know it. Part of that was her journey of,
Yeah.
I don't feel like a national champion anymore. I don't look like a national champion anymore, but I know that I can push my body. It's that No Former Athlete mindset.
Facts. It's like,
And so like that's kind of where the whole concept. And so we actually started filming it. And so it's going to be a documentary
I love that.
we're getting like No Former Athlete interviews in and all that. Also, another friend who actually competed at Kona and everything for
nice.
Ironman, she was like, everyone in general, unless you're a collegiate swimmer,
Right.
everyone is afraid of the swim part. The swim to really good swimmers is easy.
Yeah.
It's not as much of a challenge as like the run is always going to be a challenge to the runners. The bike is always going to be a challenge to the bikers.
Yeah.
So it's like a shorter difficulty, but you also get better at it fastest because
Really?
you've never trained it.
That's true.
You've never practiced
And
swimming.
with that too, as a runner too, I will say with Ironmans, the fact that they're doing a marathon after swimming and biking is crazy. But like if it's anything that I want to get out the way first, it would be the swimming.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, if I don't make it through the swimming, just cut me off right there.
You're just done.
Just cut me off right
you're
there.
done for the day. But it's an amazing environment.
It's crazy.
Incredible.
At Lake Placid, it was just amazing seeing that everyone that was there to cheer for someone.
Yes.
It's like a village of like Ironman, like a village of triathlon.
So cool.
It's so cool. It's even if you're not doing one, to go out there and cheer for a friend is a great time.
Yeah, highly recommend it as well. If you've never, if you live anywhere close to one where an event goes, it is very cool. I'm assuming since you signed up for an ultra marathon as your first marathon ever, I was like, he's definitely going to be trying to do an Ironman.
Maybe like from like 35 to 40.
Okay, all right.
35 to 40. I'll give myself that timeline for now, right? But it could come sooner. You never know.
I love it. You started running in COVID. Mm-hmm. The first race you signed up for was a 100-miler.
Yeah.
What is that in you? Where does that come from? Have you reflected on that?
I mean, I have, but like now that you ask for it again, it just why not go big, right? Why not go all out? I'll hit these milestones along the way of hitting that, right? Because honestly, like the 50K, I ran the 50K before the 100. Second, I did a 50K because with the 100 milers, you have to run a race to qualify. Not to qualify, but you have to run a race to make sure that you're able and fit to run 100 miles. If you sign up for a race, it'll be like, oh, did you finish a 50 miler or 100 miler?
It's almost like
the
a
year
qualifier.
Before? Correct.
Sort of.
Because like you don't want anyone to be out there and be a liability.
Absolutely.
But I signed up for that 100 miler before the 50K. I think during that time when you start to try something new, you go on YouTube, you start looking things up. So like ultra marathon started coming up. So I was like, why not sign up for this? Like
if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do this thing that's even cooler, right? That challenges me more.
Yeah, it's just like, because people ask me nowadays, like, oh, do you prefer the marathon or the ultra marathons? With marathons, I enjoyed the weekends more, and like the energy of marathon weekends. And New York City Marathon is next weekend.
I know
so
it.
It's starting to get active, but it's crazy because the running community itself, like, I think don't quote me on this. I don't know the specific step, but like 1% of the human population has ran a marathon, right? Mm-hmm. So like it's an even smaller number for like ultras. But like for me being ingrained in like the running community now, I feel like everyone's a runner. Because I feel like so many people are running. Going full send into that is just like, I love marathon training, right? I love the speed workouts. I love the community that comes with it, because like it's a bigger community than the ultra community for sure. Right? But when it comes to like 100 milers, or just anything past a marathon, I love where it takes me mentally.
Interesting.
Like when you're at mile 60, mile 70, and you're running through the night. I can't even put it into words. Like it's like something when you experience it, it's like it's a different pain and joy at that time. Whereas like that self-talk is like you're being positive, but you're also like, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I out here? You know what I'm saying? But also like with the 100 miles, I've done trail. like trail ultras.
Okay. Yeah.
You just can't beat being out there with Mother Nature too. Like some of the views is amazing. So marathon training is fun and marathon weekends is amazing. Like I think for me now, it's like time goals that I want to hit with the marathon where I'm dialed in for that. With ultra marathons, it takes me somewhere mentally that I don't get anywhere else with any other activity that I do.
That is that athlete piece, right? To where it's like, okay, you can do a marathon. The 1% of people, which again, you hear people talk about doing marathons. And so it makes you think that more people complete marathons than they really do. And it's like, no, 1% of the population, whatever the exact percentage.
That's low percentage.
We'll check on that. We'll check on that percentage. You elevate that even more.
Yeah.
So then it is a higher caliber. It's a higher tier, So also the external validation that also comes from that, right? Is like, hell yeah.
And it's crazy.
Hell yeah, I did do it. Even if that's not your driver. That's not your driver.
For sure.
I feel like, too, that's where a lot of athletes are.
Right.
For me, if you asked me growing up, are you a performer? Do you like attention? Right? We're kind of taught, like, you're not supposed to like attention. You're not supposed to be attention seeking, whatever. And then it's like when you really reflect on it, you're like, oh yeah, no, we like practice day in and day out to like show up. And I want people at the game.
No, that's facts. That's facts.
There's no shame in that either.
Not at all.
In that moment of like, as athletes, we like to push ourselves. And again, it's different for every person.
Right.
But we like to push ourselves to something that, for that example, you have to train.
Yeah.
When you signed up for that first 100 miler, you knew you had to train.
1,000%.
If you had just signed up for, a 26.2, your first marathon, you would have been like, well, yeah, I already know I can run that long.
Everyone's experience is different. Like, this is my perspective.
Totally.
Like, for me, with the marathon, I know I have 26.2 in me.
Absolutely.
It's how long do I want to be in pain for? With this being said, any distance, anything can happen, right? Like with those endurance sports. But with 100 miles, you stretch that for so long. Like if you roll your ankle at mile 20, like you still have 80 to go.
Yeah. Someone likes a little bit of risk.
Yeah, like for me, like the worst I have to worry about when it comes to marathons for me now is like stomach issues, right? It's like finding the next porta potty.
Yeah.
But like with 100 miles, you never know what's gonna happen out there. Like, luckily for me, I haven't had to deal with any crazy wildlife. Like, when you think about like
where's some wood?
Knock on wood.
I got you.
It's just wild. It's just nice to just be out there,
Producer just came in. I don't actually have anything in my ear, but producer just came in. It's 0.01% of the population has completed a marathon.
There you have it.
Let alone, what is probably like, how many extra zeros do you add in there for the ultra people? That's wild.
Yeah.
0.01% for a marathon. And there's a lot of people that do marathons, but there's a lot of people.
I do believe that anyone can run a marathon though, if they put the time in. And one of my shout outs to my boy Neil, he just ran his first marathon in Berlin.
Heck yeah.
Like, if you ever first meet him, like, you would never think that he would run a marathon, but with discipline, consistency, and training, like, anyone cross that finish line.
Next race is Houston.
Houston, January 19th.
Okay. Anything else on the books? Anything else on the horizon?
Yes, I will be running the New York City Marathon next year as well.
Okay,
and
amazing.
I put my name in for the lottery for Chicago, Berlin, and London.
Okay.
So my race calendar next year is TBD, and I'll probably be doing the same relay race that I've done the past 2 years called the Speed Project. The first year I did it, we ran from LA to LV.
Cool.
Last year we did Salt Lake City to LV.
Okay.
So this year, course pending. So,
we'll see where they're starting us from.
So and it was also a goal of mine to run a 100 miler or more every year.
Okay.
But with that being said, that fire that lit in me, I am, as of right now, putting the ultras on the back burner and just focusing on the marathon and seeing how much I can squeeze out of that lemon. I might sneak one in next year,
It's like, actually, I'm getting a little itchy.
I might sneak one in next year, but as of right now, I want to dial in on the marathon. But who knows? I might pull one through.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've been through multiple different, kind of transitions, aspects of sport life, athlete life, fitness life. What would be your general advice to people if someone's not sure where to start, or they're just like in a place where they're like, okay, yeah, but this guy's just like been active the whole time. He's just like always kept it up. Like, where's your brain on that?
You just got to start. Just try it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? And at the end of the day, like, who gives a shit what anyone else thinks or says, right? If it's something that you're interested in or lights a fire within you, try it out. The worst case is you find something new, right? But it's better than not trying at all.
And like you said, especially if it interests you. Yeah. If you've ever had the thought that's just like, oh, I want to see if I could do that. Yeah. There's no harm in attempting it.
Yeah, because look, from someone that's coming from flag football and then running 100 miles, like it's literally like stacking one brick a day, right? Like it's as cliche as it sounds, like strive to be 1% better every day. And like I'm always the person who's like, yo, sign up for the race first. Yeah. And then figure it out. Because I have friends who be like, yo, let me get in shape first. And then I'll sign up for the race. I was like, no, sign up for the race so you have no out. And then figure it out. Because like from there, it's like, all right, plan out your training for the week. And then you'll see the progression over time. You learn so much more about your body physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally throughout the whole process. So whatever it is, sign up for it. Try it out. If it's Muay Thai, sign up for that class. You know, if it's basketball, join a league. Whatever it is, like just start. You just got to start.
This stage of your life, have all your races planned.
Yes.
Thriving on the finding something that brings you joy, that also challenges you can keep working on.
Absolutely.
How in the world do you fit your hours of running, your time of running? What do you do for work? Kind of just give us a picture of your life here in New York.
Absolutely. So I am one of those athlete 9-to-5ers. So I work for a tech company as a customer success manager, also a content creator on the side as well. Routine is key. So like I run 6-7 days a week, either in the morning or I'm one of those lunchtime guys who's like, I'll block all shout outs to remote work. So I'm able to do that and have the flexibility by having a remote position where I'm able to go out and run during lunchtime and then get a lift session. So what training looks like for me during the week is about lifting 3-4 times a week, running 6 to 7. With work wise, it always goes back to like reflecting on like your goals and like what you do. Like for me, running a marathon, running the 100 miler has given me perspective on my life where it's just like, yo, when I'm dealing with like a tough client or a tough day at work, it's nothing compared to mile 90, you know? So like for me, like, so especially in the running space now, there's a lot of people like training for marathons also, but like they work 9-to-5s, you know? So it's like, it is interesting seeing how everyone fits in their schedule. It's definitely a commitment because at the end of the day, people have families, people have significant others. It's funny because like this Berlin training block, I was experimenting with a lower volume training block. Yeah. So I was like, I didn't go past 50 miles. I think my peak was like 49 miles. Yeah. And like in the marathons, but like the 50, 60 is good, like 70 plus is amazing, right? Yeah. So like I dabble with the lower 40 because also, as I mentioned earlier with you, like I have a fiance now. So I went through the whole proposal planning aspect and like just moving to New York, just like enjoying New York for what it was when first moving here, coming up on a year in December, juggling that and like busy season for my job. Now I start my job. I hit a year in September. Okay. Busy season's the third quarter. The third quarter was like leading up to Berlin. So like having that busy work-life balance training for a marathon was tough. It's one of those things, if it's important to you, make time for it. Yeah. You know, like you just have to adapt to it. Yeah. I didn't get the same amount of maximization when I was living in Santa Barbara, because when I was living in Santa Barbara, I was working East Coast hours on the West Coast. So I was up early, but I was finishing my days around like 2 o'clock.
And then I had
the whole day, but like now I'm back on the East Coast time. Yeah. It was a little bit tougher, but I think that had to happen for me to learn from it, you know, and to adapt. But so work-wise, I work in tech. I'm a content creator and training for marathons to ultra marathons.
You were mentioning with the family, with the relationship side of it, it's like a lot of these big races require a conversation. They require everyone being on board. You know, it's like even for me when Alex
and it costs us money.
Absolutely.
It ain't cheap.
They all cost money.
It ain't cheap.
They all cost money. And I remember when Alex first kind of came to me and was like, hey, I'm going to do a full Ironman. Yeah. And she like went into this whole thing and she's like, are you on board? Like, is this okay? And I was naive at the time and I was just like, yeah, like, I don't like, why are you like laying this all out? Like, why are you making this such a big deal? Now in hindsight, I'm like, oh, that's like a lot of training. Yeah. That's a lot of hours and things. And so it's like, it is important to get your people on board to have the support system.
It's funny you said that. Like, so like my last training block, I took Sundays off, right? So I rested Sundays. Yeah. So that will always be my day with my fiance, right? Like that's our day.
Love it.
It's just funny now because I like went up to her because, you know, I got that fire lit up in me. Now I said, Nicole, I'm locking in. Like I might be back on like my 7-day training cycle. She was like, all right, I guess I won't see you anymore. Because
she's like, all right, I guess I said yes to the proposal, but like
because she does audiology, so she has to go in for work. So I work from home. She goes into office 5 days a week. So our time together is after work or like first thing in the morning, right? But depending on what time I run, I might not see her till like late at night, and like she wakes up really early, so she's in bed by like 9-10 o'clock. You know, so, but like with that being said though, I understand what my priorities are, you know, and like her family and all that stuff comes first. Marathon, ultra marathons, training for this is a huge priority for me, but I know where my time needs to go, you know, but to what you were saying though, like getting everyone on board is very important because getting that support and just like those little things of like do whatever activity at the end of the day, you know, or just like, it's like sacred Netflix time between 7 and 9, you know, like on these days, you know. So 100% agree. Like getting the people around you on board, it helps out so much.
Makes a huge
because once you commit to a goal like a marathon or an Ironman, like it's time consuming. It's hours throughout the week, you know.
It really is.
Yeah.
So you kind of alluded to this earlier. You've already had an experience in your past to where you had that concussion. You had to be off your feet, you know, for a couple weeks, things like that. It was almost that, felt like it was taken away. Luckily, again, you know, it's like you were able to get back into things fairly quickly. Some people struggle to get back into working out or to get that routine, right? To get that consistency and just maintain it. For you, you're like, well, if I didn't, then I just start to feel weird, right? I start to feel different. Where do you think that comes from? Why do you think you need it? I guess is kind of where my brain's at.
I think it really just goes back to like just not taking this for granted. I have this goal of hitting this time in a marathon. I have this goal of completing X amount of 100 milers. And I've said this when I first started like my endurance running journey. My ultimate goal is to be as mobile as possible and live as long as possible. I want to be able to walk my daughter, if I have one, down the aisle. I want to be able to play with my grandkids. I want to be that dude running in the master class at 80 years old. You know what I'm saying?
The like Ironman finisher that's like 75 years old. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so I think like it's just because like I think it's just the long-term goal down the line, right? It's like knowing that all of these goals that I have with the marathon, the ultra marathons, and if triathlon comes or whatever that challenge comes, it's playing to the ultimate goal down the line of like just being healthy. Like I have this catchphrase: stay up, stay active, stay moving. Movement is medicine, you know. So I think that has stemmed from not taking good health for granted. Like for me, I was one of those before COVID. I was making 4-hour round trip commutes to work in the car. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it was also one of those things like when COVID hit and we were working remote, my quality of life went up. But I had other colleagues that they said like, oh, like I hate being at home. I can't do this, blah, blah. And I'm just like, really? Like we have so much time to do stuff now, but it comes down to like, I don't know for sure because but it's just like they weren't doing anything physically active at the time. So it was very dormant. A little bit of movement can go a long way, whether it's like a 15-minute walk every day, you know? Get your physical activity in, whatever it is, because it's going to help you physically, mentally, and all that stuff too. So movement is medicine. That is the message.
And you don't have to be the best at it. No former athletes, I think, struggle with that a lot because I haven't been training this whole time. I can't do it like I used to be able to do it. But like you said, it's like if you really break it down to that perspective of movement is medicine. Movement is going to keep you healthier for longer. And movement can take so many forms.
Right.
Maybe you are listening to this and you're in a situation where you're like, I don't have 45 minutes a day to work in to get a workout or to do XYZ.
Right. But what can you do in 15?
Yeah. Well, you have a 10-minute lunch. You have a 20-minute lunch. Can you take something that you can eat mobily while you're walking around your building? You know, it's like, it's just finding a way to build that movement into the daily things.
Yeah. And one of the biggest game changers as an athlete and also I say remote worker, a standing desk. A standing desk with a slant board. So you're stretching your calves while
is.
Like, you know, but it's like when you're sitting down, your hips are locked up and your lower back pain, all that stuff when you're sitting for a long time. Even taking that break to walk to a coffee shop. I'm in New York City, so I can walk to a coffee shop, you know what I'm saying? But like walking to a coffee shop and working a little bit there, or a standing desk for 30 minutes and then sitting back down, you know, like mixing it up a little bit. Like what are those little things that you can do day to day that'll stack up over time? It's a running joke with me and some of my friends. Like, I'm not going to say a lot of runners, but I know a lot of friends that are runners that do not warm up, do not cool down, Do not stretch. Do not foam roll. Like, I get
Yeah.
it. It can be boring and it's tedious, but like it's beneficial, right?
Yeah.
But it's like a little goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Right? Like 10 minutes a day, foam rolling and stretching. Even just touch your toes
Yeah.
for like 3 minutes. Like that's better than doing nothing.
Even if it's like
You
you're
know?
already laying in bed ready to go to bed, but maybe you like do stretch your hamstring or something while you're already
Exactly. Yeah,
laying
you
there.
know,
Do a
like-
couple clams, do some glue, do some bridges.
a little goes a long way. A little goes a long way.
Yeah. If you're sitting here and you're now like, I can't get a standing desk. Oh my gosh, all these great things he keeps telling me, I can't. Okay, when you
Just
get up
stand
to
up.
go to the bathroom, just stand up and sit down
Just
4
stand up.
times. Stand up, sit down in your chair 4 times, then go to the
I
bathroom.
was gonna say, one of my old coworkers pre-COVID,
Yeah.
we would be in the office like the cubicle life, right?
Yep.
Before the remote life.
Yeah.
Every hour on the hour of our workday,
Yeah.
we would just crank out 25 push-ups.
There you go.
Like we would just
Yeah.
look crazy just in the
Yeah.
just cranking out 25 push-ups. But that was like our way of like, you know what, like let's switch this up a little bit and do a little bit of something.
Having that moment.
Whatever it is to just change up that little routine, or like what can you do to benefit your lifestyle?
When we started the episode, I asked you, are you an athlete? And your answer was, yes, I'm an athlete in my life right now. Do you think that in order for yourself to call yourself an athlete, you have to have the physical part of it? You have to be able to actively be competing and doing the thing?
That's a great question. And I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no because I think being an athlete in this chapter of our lives, the physical aspects plays a part of being an athlete, right? I would even say that it's a mindset now. As long as you're striving to be the best version of you, being 1% better every day, then you're an athlete.
That's an athlete mindset
It's
as
an
well.
athlete mindset, yeah, absolutely.
That you can kind of tap into. Sometimes the physical part comes after you let yourself accept the athlete mindset.
1,000%.
Also, it's like if you have that such a hard cutoff of like, well, I haven't worked out now in, a month, 2 months. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'm not an athlete anymore. But that same athlete drive, the competitiveness, the things that have made you sign up for your first ultra, things like that would have still been in you regardless of if you had trained recently.
Right.
If you don't have the physical side of it, that desire, that drive in your brain, like you said, the mindset is still there. It still exists in your brain.
Yeah. We're all athletes in the game of life. Our finish line is the end.
It's the same.
Wherever,
It's going to look different.
It's going to look different.
It's going to have a different banner across
Yep.
it at that finish line, but it's still the same result.
1,000%. And can you leave it all out there in this lifetime, right? And maximize and win at life.
What does being a no former athlete mean to you?
It means everything. Because being the athlete growing up has shaped and molded my perspective on life and how I carry myself today and continue to carry myself. It means everything. It means everything. Every day is a blessing, and it's a privilege to be able to get up and move and do whatever we do, train for whatever we're training for. So don't take that for granted and make every day count.
In college, I printed out this little, I think it was from Pinterest, let's be real. And it just was like a picture, and then it had a quote on it, and it said, "One day I will no longer be able to run, and today is not that day."
I love that. Today's not that day.
I literally taped it up next to my bed. It is that moment where it's like, yeah, you can do it, so go do it.
Go do it. Get it done.
I love it. People that want to follow you, support you, follow your next races, follow your journeys, follow your content, where can they find you? What's the best place for them to connect with you?
I am on Instagram and TikTok at Toan my last name, but it's spelled weird. So TOAN.GUYEN, because someone took that handle and is not active on Instagram. So yes, appreciate the follow the journey there. Houston Marathon, we active January 19th.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you
so
for
nice
having
to
me.
meet you.
Absolutely.
This was the best.
This was great.